Yeah, so it's still under regulatory review right now, and it's moving through the channels very well, and we anticipate that we'll be looking at a 2016 commercial launch. Farmers can buy their seed then and use the technology. So we've got a crop that's resistant to Roundup and dicamba, and so dicamba is a popular herbicide that's been used in row crops for a number of years, and it's very effective on broadleaves. And we have some very tough to control weeds now. Some are resistant to herbicides, and so this is where the dicamba is really going to fit a need. We're kind of in a different era now. Back 10, 15 years ago, we sprayed one herbicide and that was it. And but now we're looking at resistant weeds, not only glyphosate, but there's other resistant weeds out there. And so it's going to take more management. And so we're endorsing and incentivizing farmers to use residual herbicides in our system, much like the industry is. Because everyone recognizes now that there isn't any silver bullet anymore. There's not that one herbicide that's going to control all your weeds. We're going to have to use the system. And so residual herbicides, these would be like pre-emergent herbicides that we use down first, and then come back in crop with the Roundup Xtend, or use the Roundup Xtend as a burn down with the residual. So there's various ways of doing that. As far as the management of the herbicide, today we did a lot of demonstrations showing the proper way, the best way to steward this technology through the use of different nozzle tips. We're going to require a couple of tips that produce large droplets, very large droplets. Large droplets are heavy; they don't move off site, and the benefit here is Roundup and dicamba work very well together, and they translocate. So we don't need to paint the weeds anymore with our spray. We can do it with these larger droplets and avoid the off-target drifting. We've been doing these types of demonstration field days now for a couple of years, and we've had all different groups of people through here: farmers and custom applicators, retailers, dealers, academics, lots of people who are involved in agriculture, and even those that maybe don't farm are coming through and being educated on what's going on, the new technologies coming forward. This is probably, I think, the best kept secret of the whole technology. I don't deal a lot with the germplasm side of it, but from the information I've seen and heard, the beans are going to come out of the gate flying with yield. The breeders have had some time now to go through 4 more cycles of breeding and developing that better bean with a higher yield. We're using the Roundup Ready 2 platform for the Roundup Xtend technology, so those are high-yielding beans to begin with. And the new varieties coming forward are different. They're different germplasm, so in other words, you're not going to have a Roundup Xtend version of some older Roundup Ready 2 variety. And the yield looks phenomenal. So just taking aside all the weed control advantages, the yield is really going to drive this system too.